yo, Fly, back with another review, and this time we are reviewing Bel-Air as a whole season. Yes, you already see me review the first 3 episodes. You seen me review / rant about the episode where Vivian wants to quote-unquote save herself, and Hillary, wanted to be a thought that she wasn't, but she ended up, we'll talk about that. Obviously, I've been paying attention to this whole series, so now we get to see it. Now that I've done seen it in its entirety, I'm here to give you my full review, so let's get into it. First things first, I wondered how am I going to get this. I think I'm gonna do character first. No. Story first, then characters, and overall how I feel about it. Alright, so obviously if you never watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and if you haven't, what's your problem? Either you're like 2, or you just never watched TV in your life. But if you know the story of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, West Philadelphia, born and raised, yada yada yada. It's basically the same premise here, except less comedic, more dramatic. So as far as the story goes, there is some ups and downs, and I'm not gonna lie, if you're a fan of the show, there's some things that's in here that's very different. I don't know if it's for the good or the bad, but I can tell you it's modern. But I will say this, the good part is, there's some Easter eggs, and some of the changes aren't okay. I guess when you think about it, it's just like you can't do some of the stuff you done back then, so you gotta change some things up. So I guess it's okay. It's something that I had to get used to. There are some episodes that I feel like it's really good, but there are some episodes that I feel like it was just really meh. There's some episodes that I think that are really boring. But I feel like that it all worked. Did the show suck? No. I honestly do not think the show sucked. But it did take me a while to, get on board, if you know what I mean. So, as far as the story goes, as far as the season 1, I think it did its job. It introduced the characters, it introduced people's personalities, and I believe, with the angst and all the other stuff, it still comes out good. I still think it comes out good. I think the last season, the season finale, it really wraps it up, and it's really good on there. I do think they rushed a lot of things, so it's just like, where are you going to go? Spoiler alert, in the final episode, Will meets his father, who is played by Marlon Wayans, and shout out to Marlon Wayans. I thought he did a phenomenal job. And I know we're not going to get to characters yet, but I do want to shout out Marlon Wayans. I think he did a phenomenal job. Also, shout out to, like I said in the first time I did the review, shout out to Easy the Block Captain. I thought he played a good villain, but I am mad that they killed him off. I really feel like they shouldn't have killed him off so soon. I feel like there should have been more. Now, you know what they say, if you don't see him die on screen, are they really dead? So, because you never saw the body, I feel like they could bring him back. I feel like they could always bring him back, but I did not like the fact that he killed him off, especially when in the show. And so, yes, even though, yes, I know it's a remake, but I am going to go back to the show, comedy show sometime, where I like that episode where Will goes back and he wants to fight this bully, but he's changed his life. He changed his life around. He's like, I'm not that street nigga no more. I'm trying to help keep kids off the street. It made Will do some growing up. I like that episode, and I feel like they could have done that with him, where he's a street nigga, and now you know what? After him getting shot and almost dying, I feel like he could have changed his life around. I feel like that one. The story with Will trying to meet his father, I feel like I don't understand the firing of Jeffrey, but we'll get to, like I said, we'll get to the characters in when we get there. But as far as the story goes, although I didn't like the angst, and I feel like sometimes the real serious drama scenes, I feel like they was kind of pushing it to a point. It was just like, why the fuck it. It's like, and then there's a lot of stupid things in here. Like, y'all see me, the one with the Viv and Hillary story. Hell, Ashley's story is pretty useless, and we'll get to that too. Uncle Phil, y'all gonna hear me complain a lot, but I swear to you, I did like this show. So I'm just gonna you know what? Let's just get to the characters. First things first, Jabari Banks, who plays Will. I'm not gonna say the other people's names because I can really give it down. But Jabari Banks, who plays Will, I think he played a phenomenal Will from through and through. But he was the one, if I have a nitpick on him, it's his really, really, really serious scenes where I feel like he just go from 0 to 100 and it's not no build-up. It's just like, Uncle Phil, what's happened? You don't know me like that, nigga. You don't know me like that. That's basically Will when he gets mad and shit. So, without that, but he's very charismatic in this show. He's actually, he's actually the closest thing to the TV show, to the comedy show, as the other ones. But as far as Uncle Phil, you're going to either like him or you're going to not like him. Uncle Phil is like a required taste. It's like, at first he tastes bitter, but there are times where, you know what, it's really good, but sometimes it will leave you a bad aftertaste, depending on which episode you watch. But I like him, but there are things in here that just didn't make sense. Like him firing Jeffrey because Will wanted to look for his son. And I understand, like, him being a protector, he's trying to protect. I do like that about him, but I felt like you firing Jeffrey was a bit too much. And there's a time where he's like a real big asshole too. It's just like, why are you making this character not likable? Because I feel like besides Will, the most likable character you should really like is Uncle Phil. Carlton comes later. I think Carlton comes later, and I'm gonna get to him soon. But Carlton comes later, like likable. I can see that becoming him likable later. But I feel like the second person that supposed to like is Uncle Phil. And there are times where I like him, and there are times where I don't like him. If that makes sense to anybody that's watched the show. And I feel like a lot of people are like that. It's just like, damn. Okay, all right, he's becoming that, that cool father that, he's taking care of business, he's proud of his family. Then it's like, wow, you're a real fucking asshole. And I think people understand which part you get that. Aunt Viv, she was cool, and then she's dumb herself. And it's all because of that stupid ass, I don't want to say affair, but, the whole thing with her and Michael Ealy is just like, damn, it's like, okay, I don't think she's gonna sleep with him, but it's just, what the fuck is going on there? It's just like, I feel like there's something there, and he looks like he's trying to play her, but it's just like, it seems like she's not falling for it, but it's falling for it at the same time. That's so confusing. I like the chemistry she had with the lady that played Aunt Viv, which is that, sisters that it seems like there's this love-hate relationship, or it's just like one's envious of the other one. Like there's a whole episode is just talking about them two, where Aunt Vi comes up to see Will, and they spend time, but every time like she feels like Viv is upstaging her because, spoiler alert, Viv gives Will these joys. It's just like you couldn't find it. It's just like, oh, you trying to do better than me? It's like, this ain't about me. This is about Will. And it was on Will's birthday too. So I was like, why are these two grown ass women arguing? And then I get it because it's just family thing, and it's just like you could tell that Vi was jealous of Viv, being rich and, going off the Bel-Air. You could tell there's some little envious thing in there. And while we're on Aunt Viv, I think she was cool. You can tell, like, I love the chemistry she has with Will, being a mama's boy, and Will being a mama's boy to Vi, and, she's being, but, you can tell she's overprotective, as in, like, she treats Will like a husband other than a son. It's like, or a boyfriend, like if you look at Black Man's Fears, sometimes the mama make the son's the boyfriend, or that's my man, and all that stuff. That's what I feel like it's that relationship. Now Will's a mama's boy, he's gonna protect his mama, but He's like, you took him out there and then you're mad that he wants to stay out there. It's just like, you the one that told him, hey, you gotta be outside of Philly. And then he goes, I wanna stay back here. There's a lot of contradictions in this fucking show, obviously. And she's like, oh, I want you to go. She's like, oh, Will, I want you to spread your wings. There's more than Philly. And then he goes to Bel-Air, he wants to stay in Bel-Air. He's like, no, Will, I want you to come home with me. I don't want to be lonely. And, you know, she don't say those exact words, but that's basically how it is. I don't want to be lonely. You know, I ain't got nobody. Like I said, I like On Vibes, and I want to see where that progress. And even with Viv, I want to see where that progress. And I pray to God she does not sleep with Michael Ealy. I pray to God. Hillary, I get that you do not want to make her that dumb valley girl that was in the comedy show. I get that. She's more of a social media influencer, but I don't know if people connect two and two. There was an episode in the comedy show where Hillary quit everything because it got too tough for her. It's the same thing with Hillary, but I feel like she don't know what the fuck she wants to do. That's the problem I have with this Hillary in the show. It's obvious she don't know what the fuck to do. She got so much talent, like she can cook, she can be an influencer, and you know, she can have her own hustle, but she don't really do nothing with it. Or, you know, she tries to, you know, go to the influence house and, you know, try to raise it there, but she could have easily do her own thing. Now, they talked about the last episode, she even do Karuchi, she like, oh, I'm trying to buy out my own contract, and the white boy that, you know, she was under the house influence, he said, everything you've done, you quit. And he looked at it, it's like, wow, everything you've done, you quit. So what you gonna do, get your daddy to quit out of this? Now, she doesn't want to be on her dad's, you know, her dad to bail her out and everything, but they're trying to make her independent, but she's not. You know, she's still a spoiled little rich girl. So there's a little bit of that stays in Hillary that's, you know, similar. But she definitely contradicts. And I did not like the contradictions that she had. And you know, I already went on a rant about it. If you don't see, I put the link in the description box. Y'all already know what I mean. I'm not gonna repeat that. The person that plays Hillary, I think she's a beautiful girl, but I hope that she doesn't become so contradictory. I hope that, you know, in the next season, because I think there's a confirmed second season. You know, if Peacock still want to work with Will, y'all know why I'm not getting into it. Ashley, I've said this before. I do not have a problem with, you know, LGBT representation in it. So if she's bi or lesbian or whatever the fuck she is, the thing is, she's really useless in this show. She serves no purpose. I'm not saying that because she's a lesbian, and I'm not saying this because or is bisexual in the show, but she really does nothing for the show. She doesn't push no there, and this is what I said, and I'm going to stand by this. Some people are just there. She was barely in this season. Sometimes I forget she's in the show. And like, I get, you know, they're trying to do something for her, and I understand we're living in modern times, so, you know, she's trying to discover who she is, and like, they'll throw it in there, but they don't do it. They'll throw the whole LGBT thing in there, but they do nothing with it. Now, this is not a knock on LGBT people or representation, but like I said, if you're gonna put this in there, do something with it. They've done nothing with it. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do this in further seasons, but it sets up nothing. Even when, like, she's like Aunt Viv, she goes to this church and she talks to the pastor. He's like, "Oh, is there any LGBT representation and all the blah blah blah?" Aunt Viv sees that, and this is the perfect time, you know, that you can have this conversation with your parents. She doesn't. She goes, "No, nothing. No, nothing." Ashley serves no purpose in the show, and I hate saying that. But at the same time, I gotta be honest. The bisexual lesbian angle, it just ended because the girl that she liked Will, and that was it. Don't really go no further. It really served no purpose. You could have done that Like, that story could have not been in there, and it would have made a difference. So this is what I've been saying about like representation. I don't mind you put that in there, but if it doesn't progress through the story, it does nothing for the show. You could literally like left that out, and like it could have been the same Ashley Banks. She does nothing for the right now. She does nothing for the show. At least on the comedy show, they put her stuff in there to make her relevant and make her character at least somewhat interesting. It's nothing with her. It's just like, well, I'm gonna put Ashley in there because, and I feel like, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like the bisexual angle is just a throwaway angle. Like I said, I have nothing against the LGBT and the representation they don't put in shows, but what's the point of putting in there if you don't do nothing with it? And that's the problem I have with Ashley. I'm not saying she's the worst character in the show, but she's the most useless character in the show. And it's like I said, not because of the bisexual angle or anything. It's just that they did nothing for her. She barely had little to any lines. You wouldn't know much about Ashley except she's like a freedom fighter. Carlton. At first he becomes a bitch ass nigga, and then he becomes this crybaby with anxiety. And I understand mental illness is real, but this basically what I don't like this Carlton. I really don't. And I feel like at the end they try to make him this sympathetic character because all of a sudden he got his nigga wake up moment. Now he's just a sympathetic character. But I do not like the anxiety angle because it turns into him doing drugs. I understand mental illness is real, but I feel like they could have done better with it. The episode, I feel like it was the best represented Carlton is the whole, I think it was it was before y'all. When Will and Carlton had to go sell tickets for the fundraiser for Uncle Phil. Carlton had his side and Will had his side. I feel like that could have been, if you could have used that right there, and have base this whole character around that. You don't need the cocaine. You don't need the anxiety fucking attacks. That right there is perfect. Where people from two sides of the coin. Where Will's kind of left and Carlton is kind of Republican, far right. I think, I know I mix it up all the time, but I think that's where I'm at. If you'd have had that angle, that'd have been good. Hell, even if they clash at that would have been good. It's just like, okay, this is my world. You need to figure out how to run things. I'm the man to run things. They had that. I feel like they had something there, but the cocaine is too much, and I'm not. The cocaine is too much. The anxiety, I think, is too much. It's just like you're putting shit there that doesn't need to be there. Jeffrey, and I'm gonna say this. I think he's cool, but there's not much to him except him being a house manager. I would like to see. I feel like he does shit, but it's like off screen. Like, I feel like he's doing a lot of good shit, but it's off screen. You never know. Jazz is probably one of the most enjoyable characters. He doesn't have a lot of screen time, but when he shows up, he's the best part. So shout out to the dude that played Jazz. So now, now that I've gone through the characters, the last thing I want to get through is, what do I want to see in season 2? I'm not gonna lie. I want to see, I feel like this show got real angsty for no fucking reason. So I would love to see it to be a little bit more lighthearted. Like, you can still have the drama, but I would like to see more lighthearted stuff. I feel like Will is this vibrant being from Philly to Bel-Air. I feel like you can make him, like, it doesn't have to be a comedy. I would like to see more funny moments in there. Don't have to be a full-on comedy, but I would love to see some moments where there's some lighthearted stuff, there's some funny stuff, there's them getting into antics and hijinks. I would like to see more of that in the show. Not just all the drama and all the angst and all the, I don't know, and I don't, all that. Oh, and I forgot the story with Will and Lisa. I don't like Lisa. She's like Amber in Invincible. If y'all ever watch Invincible, she's selfish. She's self-centered. I do not like her at all. And like I don't. Sorry, Naja.
That hurts. Oh my gosh.
You haven't seen the last episode, haven't you?
Yeah, very. I haven't seen Bel-Air, no. Sorry, hi. No, I've got seen.
When you get to the last episode,
you know how I feel about Bel-Air.
Yeah, you're not gonna like her. You're not gonna like. Which I'm sad because I feel like you have a character there. I did not like her getting mad at Will because he didn't tell Will that he got locked up for trying to save his friend, which was none of her fucking business anyway. And I think if you don't watch it, you don't see it. It's none of her fucking business. So that's all about Lisa. I feel like they can do better with her. What do I want to see? Like I said, what do I want to see more in season 2? I want to see more. I want it to be more lighthearted. Like you can still have your drama there, but I'd like to see more lighthearted things. I would like to see more. If you're gonna put more issues in there, I feel like you should push it. If you're gonna push Ashley being bisexual, go ahead and push it. It's like take risks. Go ahead and push it. Don't be scared. But I do want to see more lighthearted shit because I feel like it will bring more people. I feel like it will make people like the show more. I know people like the show. Like even I like the show, but it's just like, what do I want to see in season 2? I want to see more lighthearted shit. Overall, I know I done sat here and I could nitpick the fuck out of the show, but I'm telling you, it is worth watching. Are there episodes that I didn't like? Of course, there are episodes I didn't like. I think there was episodes that was really slow. But there are some episodes that is really good. I feel like the acting is really good. The cinematography is beautiful. The soundtrack, which I think is produced by Robert Glasper and Terrence Martin, especially the song Shine. If you never heard Shine, I will also put the link in the description box because that song is beautiful. The lighting, I like the sceneries, I like that. Hell, I even like the fact that it was bright and colorful, which is why I want more lighthearted shit to come from it. I feel like it was just bad. I like some of the black artworks that I saw on there that Vivian does. I like to see more of that. There's things in there that I feel like they hit the hammer on the head, but I feel like there's things that I feel like they could just go away with. So if the season 2 does more to less drama, a little bit more comedy, I feel like you will have a perfect show where people that love the old show and people that like this show, I feel like they could both come together. There's very much promise in this show. I feel like the writing can go places. And as long as Jabari Banks still plays Will and he still does Will the way he's supposed to be done, I feel like this show could even win an Emmy. I ain't even gonna say it. This show could win an Emmy, but it just needs a little bit more. So that's my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think about Bel-Air. So then, my name is Oscino Fly and I'm out. Peace.
Fancy ass man wear glove of rings, flying around town in a tub of wings. Found out how to make love to fiends. He mixing that fudge with the drug of dreams. She too teenage to have a drug of choice, but she fuck with that Royce like she love Detroit. She rolled. Pharaoh.